So I'm just here today to interview you for the international festival that was unable to go ahead this year. So I'll just go ahead and get started. If you could describe the international festival in one word, what would it be and why?
I had a long think about this one, and it's very difficult to describe in one word because I've had a real long history with internationals. Just to perhaps give you a bit of the background, in 2006, Dougie McFarlane took himself off on a kind of world dancing tour, competing, around the world. So he experienced competitions in Canada and the States, South Africa, Scotland, as well as his home. And when he returned home to Australia, he had a vision to create an international event back in his hometown of Gosford. So he was already running a championship called the Peninsula Highland Dancing Association Championship. So he applied to change the name of that championship to internationals. He approached me and I was very happy to support the change of name. And so since then, I've had the honour and the privilege of attending this event in several different capacities, hence the reason it's quite difficult to come up with one word. I judged the very first ever event in 2007. I attended as a guest of honour. I've attended as a dancing teacher and I was inducted into their Hall of Fame. So in that respect, I could use many superlatives. I could say the event is fantastic, it's fabulous, it's unique. But probably for me, the one word that I would use is inclusive. It is the most inclusive event I've ever attended. There really, truly is something for everybody. So yeah, I would go with inclusive.
You have attended the event quite frequently for the years. Is there a standout memory for yourself?
They're all standouts really, but probably the very first one. I attended the very first one 2007, and that was my mother's 75th birthday. So she travelled with me to Australia. And she attended the whole event with me, and everybody made her so welcome. Everybody was so friendly, and she was just treated as another official at the event. And it was so exciting to see the whole event come to fruition. Dougie's dream, and also at that time I judged with Jackie Smith from Canada. And Dougie ran a concert, maybe the night before, and Jackie took part in this concert as well. I was so glad I was not required to, perform. It was a bit past me by then, but it was really great to see the concert and Jackie taking part, and yeah, it was the whole event. So probably the very first one would be my favourite.
Again, after speaking to so many of the other interviewees, there's so many amazing parts of the event. And what is your favourite part of the International Festival?
Two things I really like. I really like the John McFarlane Memorial Hornpipe event. I was very fortunate to have met John, and I know the hornpipe was his favourite thing. And I also I'm very fond of the jig and the hornpipe, and so I really enjoy that aspect of the event. And the other thing I would highlight would be, and this might sound a bit odd, but the very last step of Village Maid. And just so that you can picture the scene here, you've got 9 stations, 4 dancers at each station, and halfway through the music changes to Waltzing Matilda. So to see all these 36 dancers moving in sync, all the colours and the spectacle, and to such an iconic song, it really it's very memorable and really quite moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's these would be my two.
So as you said, you have attended the event as a dance teacher with some very successful dancers. What was your proudest moment as a dance teacher attending the event?
Again, I'm going to pick two. One would be having one of my dancers, Struan, carrying the flag, carrying the Scottish flag for the opening ceremonies. I was very, very proud of that, and obviously how well my dancers did. But probably for me, that would be being inducted into the Hall of Fame at that event. Totally, totally unexpected. So much so, I didn't realise what was happening, and I'd gone wandering off backstage. And unbeknown to me, in the middle of the floor, there was Kim Rowe and Kerry Grosser and Josh. Dougie wasn't actually at that event because I think, if my memory serves me correct, I think he was probably touring with the Wiggles at that point, or he was certainly, he wasn't there, so it was Josh. And they told me afterwards, they suddenly realised when they looked to the audience that I wasn't there. And, they were going like, where is she, where is she? So I'm backstage and I heard my name. And I thought, oh, somebody must be looking for me, So I kind of came round the corner of a curtain kind of thing. And of course, there's these people in the middle of the floor. And I'm like, so it was very special. And, the fact to be the first overseas person, to be inducted into their Hall of Fame after two fabulous people, Kerry and Kim, it just, a real highlight.
Of course. And again, we aren't able to attend the event this year due to the current pandemic. But what will you miss most? Maybe one or two things that you'll miss most about it.
Yeah, really miss the whole event because from start to finish, it's such a fun event, and there's always extra things happen. Year on year, there's been so many improvements, and they've tried to introduce individual age group championships, which is not common in Australia. There's a Champions Challenge. The choreography and the opening is always quite spectacular. So really, I miss the whole event, but most of all, I miss my dancing family. And I'm sure everybody would say the same thing. There's so many friendships and happy times through Highland dancing, and sadly, so many things cancelled this year, and it makes life very difficult. But through Zoom and FaceTime and Skype and all of these, we're fortunate to live in a time where we do have quite a lot of, technology, and we can kind of connect, although we're far apart. But yeah, I'd miss all the friendships and my dancing family from Australia, from internationals.
Well, that's all of my questions. I just want to say a massive thank you to you for agreeing to come on and do this interview.